Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. These are my very pitiful Portulacaria Afras. They all came, well, with the exception of this one, they all came from my sister's yard in Southern California. She brought me some cuttings that were not rooted, and they are all turning out to have very strange long trunks. So instead of cutting these down and getting more cuttings on the go, I decided to do something that I've seen done on deciduous trees, which is a fusion project. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with very straight trunks. And I'm just wondering if I bind them together and somehow get them to fuse, I might have a larger trunk tree. Now, other than that, I wanted to give up on Portulacaria Afras, but then I went to a nursery this morning and I found these, which are lovely. This has a very big tapered trunk and so much foliage, as does this. This one has a little movement to it. Very nice. So I'm not giving up on ports. I do want to try and experiment on these though and see how it goes. So little Portulacaria Afras, you're going to come out of these training pots. I've got my vet tape. Tony, if you watch my channel, this is a direct this has a direct line to you. I'm going to bind these very tightly and just see what happens. I'll put them in bonsai soil. I'll keep them watered and fertilized indoors over the winter. I'll only trim back what's in the way up top, and hopefully this will turn out nice. Let's get at it. Okay, let's see what these are like. I think I can easily unpot them. Maybe not so easily. I've been purposely keeping these fairly dry, but they've been growing in this environment better than they've grown anywhere else. In the house, they lose their, well, they got a pretty nice root system. In the house, they lose their leaves right away, and they end up growing a new set, but this one didn't make it. But they're not the best. So I got to put these in something. Excuse me while I get something. Put these cuttings in water. Not that they need it. Well, it helps get the aggregate off. Just put them aside here. And I see some pine bark in this. It's a very dry mix. This one, this variegated one, I don't know if you can see that. I just took a cutting at the club and it I don't have much luck with ports, let's put it that way. I haven't to this point. So, one of those things I wanted to start because I saw somebody else had a really nice port forest and thought that was a cool idea. This one has a single screen and Another thing I definitely do not recommend doing is putting a single screen in. If you haven't experienced this yourselves yet, try to avoid it. I'll work these out. Not easy. All right. You're also looking at the reason these probably haven't done so well. Still want to do this fusion project though. I'll come back to you when I have these separated. Okay, let's try fitting these together some way. And I said I would only cut off the things that are interfering. I'll try and do as few cut-offs as I can. I'm gonna have to bind it way up if it's to be believable. And I don't know if it matters that the segments don't line up. Who knows? I want the roots to line up. I want to preserve as many branches as possible. There's one here I know I wanted to cut off. I don't know, this looks like it could work. I'm going to bind them up, and I'm going to bind them up tight. What I'm hoping for is a nice fluted root system when all is said and done. If I can achieve that, it's a damn sight better than having chucked them all. Now here I go. Tight. There's going to be a tendency for these to want to twist. So I'm going to hold them in the bound section. And I want to go way up with this. I'll thin out the top at some point. But I think the best thing for right now, maybe the top will thin itself out. All right, this is the part I never really got. Is you split it down the middle and tie it somehow. Seen you do it 100 times, Tony. You'd think I'd know by now. I don't know, did I just miss it? Has anyone tried this on a port? Yeah, I don't get this part. All right, that's now a nice thick trunk. So let's get this baby planted and see what develops. I can do a nice radial root system too. All right, I'll come back at you. Okay, here's the planting part. Do I care about a front? That's a good front. Can I arrange the roots? Yes, I can. So the idea is, if this fuses and looks nice, maybe, and it flutes and everything, maybe it'll be a nice specimen tree. Or another hilltop lone tree, very fluted trunk. Or, if it doesn't do well, then what? So let's see if I can't stabilize this somewhat. Oh, there's no way. I'm going to have to put stones on that. Just an experiment, just to see if it works. This one's going to have to remain in the greenhouse. The slightest wind will blow it over. Let's see how this matures. I'll take that vet tape off, I don't know, this time next year. Here's a stone to help stabilize it. I'll need something on this side as well. Yeah, why not? That'll do it. It's for the future anyway. Well, I'll get this watered, and I'm just going to leave it alone for a little while. All right, so this will be a fun one to watch over time, and let's see if I can make anything out of this. The branches will be a big jumble for a long time until I can figure them all out. But let's see if we can't get it to fuse. All right, thank you so much for keeping me company in my backyard.